So today we're going to take you through chicken. We're going to debone it, and then we're going to look at further episodes where we actually show you what to do with all these lovely pieces. Obviously we're going to go into a slightly deeper way of deboning in a more specific way, so we can show you the different cuts, and then from there we'll look at a more detailed way of preparing the dish. Use the same technique with every bird. We remove off the little winglet section like such, and everyone will think that your knife is super sharp, which it should be, but essentially we have these little joints here that you need to cut through. So when you know where the joint is, you will actually find that the knife will slide through and it looks more impressive. Alright, then we come to the leg joint. We just loosen the skin area, you take it up, knife through, and then you almost like break it and then straight through. And that would give you your leg joint. Alright, we do the same on the other side, stretch him up a bit, straight through the joint or the piece, crack it, and straight through the joint. Looks very easy, as I say. Then the next component would be this here, is what we call the crown, but we want to neaten it up a little bit. So we just take it straight through so that we can pop it up. You use this piece here for making stock, and then we just pop the bird up like such. What we would normally do is take this, sear it in a pan, give it some color, and then from there roast it in the oven till just before cooked. Take it off the crown. So we call this the crown. It gives much more texture in the sense of less shrinkage and more moisture that you would get when you cook on the bone itself. Then we're going to take this into deboning, as in the chicken breast. And we're just going to run that all across on the bone itself, putting the pressure on the meat being pulled and the knife running along the bone. And we just run that through. And then there's a little bone joint here, which we want to just break it through, like such, to leave that behind. There we go, like such. Again, same story on this side. And we just turn it around to make it easier. All along the flesh and bone side. Again, straight through that little knuckle joint here. And you're left with the part of the carcass. So these little pieces here are great for actually using in a stock. So we build up flavor naturally, not any powdered items. Right, so you're left with the two breasts over here. I'm going to tackle them first. We're going to clean up this little joint here. So here's the little fillet that sits inside. We pack that over. We take our knife, again, we're working it on the bone, because the concept is basically to clean the bone for serving time. If you're going to serve with the bone on, it needs to look pretty or it be discarded completely. And you're left with something like that. So as long as it looks pretty, it's good to go. This would all part of be our stock. Always good to leave the skin on, just adds loads more flavor. One should normally just bring the temperature up slowly so it's never dried out as such. Just do the next one quickly. And whenever we serve chicken with the bone on like this, we would then call it the supreme of chicken. So whenever you see on a menu supreme of chicken, it's always got the little bone joint on. And there we go. Next part is, we got the leg joint. So this over here would be the thigh on this side, and this side over here would be the drumstick. So again, straight through the joint, looks very easy. This part over here is probably my most favorite meat, and the reason for this is you've got leg meat, which is different, it's got more flavor, and also you find that it's tastier and doesn't dry out very much, which is fantastic. You could either leave it on the bone like this, or you could actually debone it. We call this French trimming, where we remove the knuckle, pretty much like we did over here on this one. Again, same procedure. So what I'd normally like to do is, if we do kiddies meals and people request like chicken drumsticks because it's always popular for the kids, we normally do the French trim. The reason for that is it shows that you care about people, because you actually take it to another step. So when you serve it, you can actually hold it. It's the drier part, your fingers don't get so dirty, and it looks pretty too. So over here we've just got the wing joint, the little winglet on the top here. This is great just for stocks, as I said, so we'll just remove that. Over here you've got two sets of bones, which we're going to remove one of them. And what we're going to do is create what they call a lollipop. became quite fashionable. Some chefs try to sell this as a business and do this for you because it takes a lot of time. But in actual fact, you're paying a lot of money for nothing because you can do it yourself. And again, we've got the bigger part here of the bone. We're just going to run the knife along here, remove all of this to a point, and then just pull this all over. And what we do is we wrap that in some plastic wrap and we basically poach that. And you get yourself a beautiful little lollipop, put a nice little Asian dressing of some sort or some barbecue. That is just absolutely delicious. All right, so that's as simple as it is. For those of you who always wanted to know how to debone a chicken, well, there we go, very simple. On our next episode, we're going to look at doing a chicken which we're going to tunnel bone. A little bit more technique, a little bit more skill, a little bit more patience, but stay tuned.